Alright, hey guys, it's Kendra once again, and I am here to introduce my new vlog series. It's called Beautifully Broken, and it's just going to be like some me sharing the words, some me just sharing, like, I guess, video journal type things where I just share different experiences and different things with you guys, and just showing how that we can be broken and it still can be beauty in that brokenness. I know I have struggled with that for a while, and I know it's other people out there who, we're just struggling, trying to find our way and be who God called us to be, casting our flesh down and, just trying to live holy lives. And it's not always easy in our society, and, just dealing with other things we got going on and wounds and issues that are lying deep down inside that we don't deal with. So, I prayed about this because I'm like, okay, God, where do you want me to start with this? So, He told me that initially I'm going to start by just sharing different broken people in the Bible who are beautifully broken, or we can consider beautifully broken, and then how it relates to me and how I can relate to that. And then, you guys will be able to comment and share your experiences as well. Alright, so the first person that we're going to discuss out of the Bible is the woman with the alabaster box. And we can find her in Matthew 26 and also in Luke 7. They are two different accounts. The account in Matthew 26 is very short, but the account in Luke 7 is very long, and it goes more in depth about what actually happened. But the bottom line is we have this woman. We never have a name for her. In Matthew 26, they call her a woman, and in Luke 7, they call her a sinful woman. So we had this sinful woman who hears that Jesus is in town. And so she goes over to the house, and she has an alabaster box, which is like it was expensive oil inside. And so she begins to pour the oil out on Jesus, and then she begins to weep at his feet and wash his feet with her hair and her tears. And so, she's being she's being judged in this situation by the disciples and by also the Pharisees. And so we see her, and she's pouring out the oil, and the disciples are judging her in a religious way, or in a holier than thou way, and they're saying, why is she wasting this oil? It could be sold and used to feed the poor. And then we have the Pharisees who was judging her and thinking, if Jesus was really who, the prophet that he says he is, he would know who this woman is who is touching him. And it's so crazy because, Jesus has have performed many miracles, and the disciples who walk with him, they have witnessed these miracles. And then the Pharisee, he's kind of trying to test Jesus, kind of in a way. He's judging her, but also questioning the power of Jesus. And we have this woman, and she doesn't care what is going on. And so the interesting thing here with the disciples is that they're looking at the value of the oil. And so sometimes it's going to cost us. In our broken places, it's going to cost us some things, and people won't understand why we are doing the things that we're doing. But it's good to know that we have a Jesus or a Lord who, he understands. He knows some of our issues and some of the things that we do, and understands why we do them when we don't. And we're like, God, why do I keep stumbling over this thing? But we have to do like she did and go before God and give him whatever we have to offer. And if all we have to offer is oil and tears and washing his feet with our hair, we can't literally do it, but go and sit before him in his presence and cry out to him and let the oil flow and say, God, we don't have to say anything, because in this passage the woman never speaks. All she does is cry and pour out the oil on him. So if we come to him and we give him everything we have to offer, if we give him our worship, if we give him our praise, he will understand. He intercedes for us, and he will understand what it is that we come to him for, and he will begin to defend us and have our backs against the people who are judging us. So Jesus senses in his spirit, because the Pharisee never says out loud, well, if you knew who she was, why would you let her touch you? He thinks this, and Jesus knows that he's thinking this, and Jesus says, he asks the question. He says, well, if we have one person and we have a collector, and he has two people who owe him. One owes him a significantly higher amount than the next person. If neither of those people have anything to give, if neither of those people have anything to give, and the collector forgives both of them, who do you think will be more grateful? And so the guy says, Simon, he says, I'm assuming, of course, the person who owed more. And so Jesus said, you have judged rightly. And so the whole point was Jesus was saying to them, first of all, in the beginning, it says he was at Simon the leper's house. So Simon had leprosy, and back in those times when a person was afflicted with something like leprosy or illness, it was attributed to their sin. They must have sinned and did something wrong and, were struck with leprosy or whatever their issue was. So we have a person, he's saying, you're Simon the leper. That's what they called you. You go by Simon the leper. You're known for your illness. And, when I came in your house, you didn't offer me anything. And this woman is worshiping and crying at my feet. She's washing my feet with her tears and her hair. And I have come into your home, and you haven't offered me anything. And just because her sins, which are many, that doesn't mean that she is any less than you. And the reason why she is willing to pour this perfume on me is because her sins, she understands, and the forgiveness that she can find here and what she finds here is she's just more grateful. You're not grateful for me because you don't see all that I can do. You don't value all that I can offer you, but she values all that she can offer, and it's so crazy to me because I think it's a beautiful thing, because he says if he knew who and what type of woman this was, why is he letting her touch her? So that it suggests that maybe she was like a prostitute or a very promiscuous woman, so why would Jesus, the prophet, why would he let a woman known to be loose touch him? And Jesus is so beautiful because he doesn't judge us because of the things that we do. And it's a crazy thing when our life speaks out against our heart, because she had a heart to serve God and to love on Jesus in that moment, and her life and her lifestyle prior to that was speaking out against her. Everybody knew she was a sinful woman, and it was speaking out against her, but her heart for God was still, pure, and she wanted to do and give whatever she could to him. And it wasn't for anything. She never asked him for anything. She never said, God, Jesus, if I give you my oil, it's expensive. If I pour this on you, can you forgive me of my sins? Or if I cry out to you, will you forgive me of my sins? She never asked him for anything. It was just to be in his presence. And it had to be something special about Jesus' presence in that moment, because if she was a promiscuous woman or a prostitute or whatever, and she had been around plenty men before, and it was something different here. She realized that it was something different here. But the disciples who had walked with him all this time and had seen the miracles and things that he had done up until this point hadn't truly realized everything that was in front of them, and neither did the Pharisees. But this woman who had been around so many other men in many other ways had the ability to see and feel the presence of what was in front of her. Jesus was in front of her. She had an opportunity to pour out to somebody who was greater than anybody she had come across at this point in time. And so Jesus, he defends her in a beautiful way, and he says, well, the poor will always be here, but I won't. So he was saying, she's doing the right thing. She's taking advantage of my presence because it won't always be here. And you guys have been walking with me. So you need to realize who you have in your presence. You need to realize that what I can do for you, what I can truly do, And so, like this woman, I feel myself broken, and my life spoke out against me. I had 2 children, and it's hard, when you have a heart to love and serve God, but your life is speaking out against you, and you meet people and they ask you, oh, you have children, oh, you're not married, oh, do your children have the same father? And you say no, and you feel like you're being discredited, or that you're less than in a way, and you might find yourself broken or hurt by whatever situation that you're in. And it's beautiful because Jesus, he will defend you, and he will take you, and you can cry before him, and he will say, she understands. She comes to me and she cries out to me, and I don't care what she did, and I don't care who she's been with. She's here now with me in my presence, and just coming to him and giving him your broken pieces, or giving him whatever you have to offer. He will take it, and he will forgive you, and he will show those people who talked about you and judged you and didn't understand you, he will show them that you are in the right place, and even though you made some mistakes, and even though you messed up, that he was able to redeem you, and he was able to fix you. So you can be broken and beautiful at the same time, and I'm just so grateful that God has been dealing with me lately, and he has been just telling me, Kendra, if you want to fully experience the healing and the restoration that you desire, just take off the mask, be who I called you to be, accept it, and it's okay. It's okay to be who you are. It's okay to acknowledge the mistakes that you made. It's okay. I know what you have done, and it's okay. I still love you. So I encourage everybody today to be like the woman with the alabaster box. Go before Jesus regardless of who's around or what's around, and who may be judging you, and who may think that you're not worthy, or who may think that it's stupid. Because guess what? Sometimes going before God and putting yourself out there and admitting to not having it all together, it's going to cost you some things, but it's okay, because the cost is worth it. Because at the end of it all, Jesus told her, woman, your sins, which are many, have been forgiven. And what it is to be forgiven by Jesus, to know that everything that you have done, it is now behind you. So I'm just so blessed, and I'm so thankful for what God is about to do in my life and in you guys' lives. I'm telling you, I'm here for anybody who needs prayer or anything like that. But we may be broken, but we're still beautiful. We're still beautiful in his sight. He sees beauty, and that's when we come to him. He doesn't see all the other things. He just says, we're going to put that to the side. That's done. We're putting it to the side. It's over with. I still love you. And he's going to forgive us, and we are going to be able to move on and go about our lives and live and walk with him. So I just love you guys. I'm excited about this, and just watch it, read the scriptures that I presented. Matthew 26, I have it here. Matthew 26, 6 through 13, and then it's Luke 7:30. Hold up, I got it up. 36 through 50. So go check those out, and just be encouraged this week, knowing that there is beauty and brokenness, and God will be able to just do a great work and heal us. And as long as we can be transparent and say, I don't care what anybody has to say, I'm coming before God with my brokenness, and I'm going to let him do a great work and heal me and fix me in front of the people who talked about me and judged me. It's okay. It's okay, because he's going to defend you, and you'll never be alone once you seek him and allow him in. All right, so nice talking to you guys, and I'll see you next week.